Hey everyone, and welcome back to my craft room. I don't know where I am. This is the third and final video of our April Hydrangea Haven or Hydrangea Hill card class by mail. Goodness me, I can't put my words together now. I'm just going to check my volume. Maybe it would be best if I couldn't be heard. Anyway, here we go. When I said this, in the last video I said this was the most complicated card. In fact, it's probably not the most complicated given what we've done with the other cards. Everything's been cut for you, so it's just a matter of popping this one together. Again, I have given you cardstock to die cut the leaves and the veins of the leaves of this particular card, just because they're so fine. I didn't want to damage them putting them into the little envelopes in the mail. So that's really all the die cutting you have to do. The rest has been done for you, and it's just a matter of assembling it. It's a very unusual easel card, this one. It's sort of different in the fact that the easel sort of points the wrong direction compared to a lot of the other easel cards you may have seen, but I think it adds to the specialness of it and makes it quite an unusual thing, you know, an unusual card when it's sitting up on display. I've used the To an Incredible Woman, I Love You, which I suppose would make it a good card for, say, Mother's Day or a mother's birthday or someone special on Mother's Day. So, yeah, anyone in my little card group who, when we do our Mother's Day card swap, someone might get this card as part of the swap. That's what I usually do when I make an appropriate card in a class. I use the samples in my swaps. So anyway, so here we go. We're going to pop this one together. Shouldn't take very long at all, as long as you've got all the pieces and you know what you're doing. You know you've got them all ready to go. So we've got our sort of easel base here, and it's sort of in a shape of like a Z card. I'm just going to get my bone folder because that fold's not very square, not very sharp. So yeah, it's in a Z like that. So the base of the Z is here, is the base of the easel, just to give that a bit of a sharpen down. Okay, so we've got that there. So basically the whole thing is built around this Z. So you've got a large piece of seaside spray, seaside spray cardstock. Sorry, my brain is all over the place at the moment. We've got some family things happening and I'm not really concentrating all too well. So this large piece of blue, I'm going to call it blue, goes basically on the base of our easel, just like that. Okay, and then you've also got a large piece of the beautiful, beautiful Designer Series paper, the Hydrangea Designer Series paper. Unfortunately, this is retiring with the end of the mini catalogue, so you've got till June to get this one, so I might grab a couple more packs before the end. Sorry, that's just moved a little bit, it's not quite even. That's better. Okay, so we're going to pop that on straight on top of there. I've got a dimensional backing there. You get everywhere they do. So you pop that piece of Designer Series paper just straight over the top of the blue seaside spray, just like that. Okay, so that's the base of it done. Then what you're going to get is you've got two other pieces of blue, just these two little twins here, and one of them goes on the front facing surface there and the other one goes on the inside there, so you basically got them both covered. So pop that one there. And the second one in there. So you've basically got the two inside surfaces. If this was a normal card, that would be both the inside surfaces that we've got sort of decorated, isn't it? Because it would open like that. So you've got that whole inside inside surfaces of the card decorated, just like that. Okay, so the next thing to do is grab our embossed panel. So this one has been embossed with the Parisian embossing folder. It's just really, really lovely. It's got little flowers and fleur-de-lis and everything in there. Lovely, lots of little curves and everything. You've got a comparable piece of another piece of Highland Heather, so they're going to go on top of each other just like that. Grab that and pop it on there. Just like that. Cool. Okay. So we might just leave that separate for the moment. We're not going to actually attach it. Oh, hang on. You've also got a smaller piece of Designer Series paper which is going on that top surface. So you've got Designer Series paper, plain, and Designer Series paper. Okay. Here we are. Just like that. So we've got that, and then we've got our embossed panel on our Highland Heather as well. So that's where we're up to now. Just hope that makes sense. Okay, so what you need to do now is grab your sentiment box, and we're going to put these aside for the moment. We're going to stamp the sentiment onto this really lovely sentiment box with the To an Incredible Woman. And we're just going to do that in black. And so you're going to sort of stamp it towards the top right hand corner of the sentiment box, because the rest of our sentiment box is going to be taken up with flowers, beautiful hydrangeas. So I'm just going to sort of use my grid to sort of straighten my sentiment box, and then we can just stamp it towards the top and towards the right. There we are. Okay. Then we'll actually prepare our flower. So I've given you the head of the flower from the die set. It's all been cut from a piece of the Designer Series paper. So it's all right there done. You could do it from cardstock, but I just love the fact that the Designer Series paper already has the little flowers and little colours in there. So if you want to, go from the back side and just curl those little leaflets, petalets up, just to give it more of a 3D effect on the front. So I can leave you to do that. Then what we can do is then bring in our dies, or I will have already done this for you if you haven't bought the dies, and we're going to cut it using the little piece of old olive cardstock that I've given you in your kit. Just cut the one we've been using all the time, this big hydrangea, and the leaves as well. So this time we want a full leaf, a full set of the leaves. So just like that, and pop it through. So you need to do one of those for each of the cards. So one for, yes, and two of those for two cards. Find my little pokey thing. My little pokey thing here somewhere. Oh, have you got two pokey thing? Here we go. Just to get that out. As I say, these are really, really delicate, which is why I haven't done them. If you've got the dies is why I haven't done them, because I don't want to sort of ruin them in the mail. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we've got our silhouette, our flower silhouette, and our leaves. Just going to pop those straight on. Just put some glue just on the thicker parts of the leaves. Down the stem, not a lot of glue because it's going to go everywhere. If you're like me, it's going to go everywhere when it already just has. Just line them up as best you can. Here we are. Thankfully our glue dries clear, so you won't see those bits of glue once they've dried. So we've got our leaves on there, just like that, or our little stem, veins. So we're then going to pop our flower on. Now you can line up, the flower has the same little ridges and bumps as the die, so if you can line them up so that they align with each other, or so that they all match up, then you won't see too much of the background, you'll just see the flower. So just line those up and glue down. Here we are. So that's our little hydrangea. That's the first time you've seen this one in this class, but I think it's just lovely. I think it's the image of the catalogue, is that little one that's just there. Okay, so we're going to bring in our embossed panel. So what we're going to do is pop the sentiment box towards the top. We're going to glue that down, and then we're going to bring in our hydrangea and just have it sort of curl around our sentiment a little bit, just like that. So it's going to overlap, the sentiment box is going to overlap on the right hand side, or come off the edge, and the flower itself is going to overlap on the left hand side, but that's good, that's what we want, just to give it a bit of a different different footprint than just a plain square. So I'm going to glue the sentiment box on, stopping short just here where it's going to overlap the edge. Pop that on there. And then with some dimensionals, put our hydrangea on. And again, as I said, this one's going to overhang on the left hand side, so don't put your dimensionals too far over. So keep them to the middle and to the right, or eventually what will be the right. Fingers are so sticky, the dimensional covers are actually just sticking to me without even gripping them. I have to bring in a wipe in the middle in a minute. So we're going to, as I say, just nuzzle that hydrangea around and below our sentiment. Just like that. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so now we can bring in our card base and we can pop our decorated panel into place. So again, it's going to only attach to the top half of the easel, so you really only want to put glue on the top half of that panel, just like that, and then line it up. So you want the same sort of gap, top and bottom and sides, and just make sure it's straight and even, just like that. Okay, so there you can see it's just glued at the top half, just like a normal easel would. Okay, so probably need to do the last part of this, which is our little easel foot. All easels need a foot so that they don't fall forward too much when they're being on display. So we've got this lovely little I love you. It's just plain, sweet, nice, simple font. But says it all. We're just going to put that onto the white stitched sentiment box that I've provided. It's a little white one there. And then we're going to layer up the small little other rectangles you've got. So I'm going to pop the blue square or rectangle on top of the Highland Heather one, like that. And then with dimensionals, pop the sentiment box on there. Just to give it a bit of height away from the others. So just line it up. It should fit pretty centrally, and it should have a nice little border around the edge as such, which I haven't got it straight. There we are, that's better. There we go. So that's going to be our little foot. So we've got the Highland Heather rectangle with the blue one in between, and then the dimensionals and the little sentiment box on top of that. So then you bring that into your easel and you work out how high you want your easel to sit. If you want it to sit really high, you have to put the foot right at the back. If you're happy with it to sort of lean back a little bit like that, then you can put it sort of in the centre there. I'm sort of going to pop it sort of probably two inches, I suppose it would be. Yeah, the best part of 2 inches back from the bottom of the card, just so that the card sits at a nice high, but not too high and not too low. So just pop the little foot in where you want. Try and make it as straight as you can. And then that will stop your card from falling forward when it's on display. Just like that. There you are. So that little foot, as you can probably tell there, stops the card from falling forward. But when it's flat like that, it just hides up underneath. And there we are, when it sits up like that. Okay, so that's pretty much done. We've only got the decorations, the embellishments to do. Again, we have these beautiful pearls. Pastel pearls, I think the name of them are. But anyway, as I say, I'll put the what I've used to make the card in the written instructions when you get those. I'm just going to pop those around on our sentiment box just as a bit of bling. Just the three of them in sort of a triangle-y sort of configuration. Just like that. And again, we have some white twine, and just going to make, again, just a little bow out of that white twine, just to sit on the front. And to be honest, I don't know if it actually needs it, but hey, you've got it here, you might as well use it, because everything is sticking to me, so is my twine. You could do, if you've got enough there, do a double. I might do a double one. Make sure I leave myself enough. Just do a little bow. If you can, if the world's not sticking to your fingers. Muck that up. Didn't leave enough. Because there's supposed to be 2 bows in there, so I don't want to go overboard. Might just cut that first, just so I don't use more than half on this one. Ta-da! I think it worked. Here we go. Here we give that a little bit of a trim there. Shouldn't be that difficult, should it, guys? Let's see. I'll give that just a trim there, and that should be right. So both our little tails are the same. There we are. Obviously, you could have gone away and made a cup of coffee in the time to make that bow. Gosh. And again, a glue dot. And on just as high or as low as you actually want it on your little hydrangea. There we go. Golly me. Okay, so that is that last one done. That's really lovely. I like that one. As I say, it's a slightly different easel configuration to what I'd usually do. But I think it's actually just adds some real interest to that card, and it's a beautiful use of the, as I say, the designer series paper and that feature image of that hydrangea, which is just the best thing this year. Okay, so there you are. That's card number 3. That's the final card of this month's class. I hope you enjoyed that one. Again, there we are. There's the original, and there's the one I've just made with you then. Yeah, so please have a go. I hope you enjoy these cards. Come back to me if anything I've given you is unclear, or if the packs are not complete. Please let me know. I'm always trying to improve my classes, and I would love my customers to be happy enough to come back and do more classes later on. So enjoy that. I hope you get lovely use out of these cards and manage to give them to lots and lots and lots of appreciative recipients. Anyway, if you have any questions, come back to me, and if you'd like to purchase anything that you've seen in the packs or in the classes, please let me know that as well. But it's been great spending some time with you today. Have a great the rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.